On September 25, 2025, the Department of Justice under President Trump indicted former FBI Director James Comey, shattering decades of political norms. For the first time, a sitting president used federal power to prosecute a predecessor's top law enforcement official, raising urgent questions about the independence of the justice system. The charges, centered on Comey's handling of classified information, are less significant than the act of prosecution itself. This move is widely seen as the culmination of a personal vendetta, breaking the tradition of leaving past political battles behind. By targeting Comey, President Trump has set a precedent that could trigger cycles of retaliatory prosecutions with every new administration. The rule of law depends on justice being blind, not a tool for political retribution. The Comey indictment is a symbol of a broader trend, the erosion of institutional safeguards and the rise of partisan warfare. This case is a critical test for American democracy, with consequences that will echo far beyond Comey himself. The future of American governance may well hinge on how the nation responds to this moment. Comey's indictment followed a relentless campaign by President Trump, who publicly demanded action against his political enemies. The president's rallies and social media posts pressured the Justice Department to act, blurring the line between law enforcement and political will. Key officials who resisted were removed, replaced by loyalists willing to pursue Trump's agenda. The firing of a U.S. attorney in Virginia, after refusing to target another Trump adversary, signaled that loyalty now outweighs independence. The Justice Department, once a check on presidential power, now appears to follow directives from the White House. Prosecutors and agents face a chilling choice: comply with political demands or risk their careers. The message is clear: impartial justice is being replaced by political allegiance. The path to Comey's indictment was paved with firings, appointments, and public threats, fundamentally altering the relationship between the presidency and the justice system. This marks a dangerous shift in American governance. The Comey prosecution has split the nation. Critics, including former Trump officials, call it a dangerous abuse of power and a threat to the rule of law. They warn that using the justice system for political payback undermines its credibility and sets a perilous precedent. Many fear a future where every new administration prosecutes its rivals, turning justice into a partisan weapon. Supporters of President Trump, however, see the indictment as overdue accountability. For them, Comey represents a corrupt establishment, and his prosecution is a step toward restoring integrity. They argue that no one, not even a former FBI director, should be above the law. In their eyes, this is a victory for justice and a rejection of the old Washington order. The Comey indictment is part of a broader campaign targeting political opponents, donors, and the media. President Trump has called for criminal investigations into figures like George Soros, prompting the Justice Department to draft plans for prosecution. The administration has also escalated attacks on the press, threatening broadcast licenses and launching lawsuits against major news outlets. New Pentagon rules now require journalists to seek authorization before publishing certain material, raising fears of government censorship. These actions create a climate of fear and self-censorship, as critics and journalists face legal and regulatory threats. The government's use of its full power to silence dissent marks a dramatic shift in American political life. The targeting of Comey, Soros, and the media are not isolated incidents. They are part of a coordinated effort to weaken checks and balances. This strategy aims to control the narrative and punish opposition, undermining the foundations of democracy. The consequences reach far beyond any single individual. The Comey indictment has pushed American democracy into uncharted territory. The rule of law and the independence of the justice system are under unprecedented strain. Weaponizing government agencies against political adversaries risks a cycle of perpetual political warfare. This environment paralyzes government, erodes trust, and transforms politics into a zero-sum battle for power. The shift toward centralized executive authority challenges the core American value of limited government. The nation now faces urgent questions. Can weakened institutions be restored? Will broken norms ever be respected again? The choices made in the coming months will determine whether the U.S. reaffirms its commitment to democracy or continues down a path of division and authoritarianism. The future of the American experiment hangs in the balance.